Hi, I'm Holly Alfano, CEO of ILMA. Thanks for joining us. I see we've got a number of participants coming online. We're going to give everyone a minute to get everyone to get connected, and we'll kick this off. Good afternoon. My name is Holly Alfano with ILMA. Welcome to LubeTrends, and thanks for joining us today. I want to take a minute to thank Chevron Oronite for being our exclusive LubeTrends sponsor throughout 2021. Thank you to all the fine folks at Chevron Oronite. Before we get started, I want to tell you how excited we are for our upcoming meeting in Orlando. We have over 400 people attending the meeting in person. ILMA Reengage, and I think everyone agrees that we're all more than ready to get re-engaged again. We have a really interesting session today, and thank you to the folks from IFC for agreeing to participate. You know, I think most people are aware that earlier this year, Toyota announced the formation of the International Fluids Consortium during SAE's International Virtual World Congress. Led by a group of automakers, the consortium intends to develop international automotive fluids performance specification. IFC will also administer a licensing program for its specifications. Today, Terry Kowalski, Principal Engineer for Toyota North America, along with Mike Kunselman and Rebecca Cox of the Center for Quality Assurance, will share their vision for IFC with ILMA. ILMA members, just a reminder, you can submit questions. There is a Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. Feel free to send any questions, and we will try to get them answered at the end. Thanks, Mike and Terry, and we look forward to you starting your presentation.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Terry Kowalski, and I'll be presenting a new system that has been developed to improve the fluid specification development process. This was done for the purpose of ensuring current and future vehicle technology is supported worldwide. OEMs have come together to enhance fluid specifications through the creation of a global consortium. As one of the founding members of this consortium, Toyota is here today as a representative to provide further information to the industry. But before we get started, let's review the antitrust statement. I don't know why this is not working now.
Terry, we can hear you.
Okay, hang on a second. My presentation froze on my okay.
While Terry is fixing her slides.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. It just released itself. Excuse me, y'all.
No problem.
The purpose of this is to explore avenues of mutual interest and cooperation for the benefit of society. We must refrain from activities prohibited by existing local, national, and international antitrust laws. Discussions involving product pricing or profit margins, sales terms, market share, production, or other aspects of competition are strictly prohibited. In the event a participant feels that the course of discussion is headed into a restricted area, the participant should voice their concern immediately so that further discussion of such matters can be terminated. Okay, so let's get started. Hopefully that is the only hiccup we have. This presentation will review the background and current situation of our specification system, including the continued evolution of vehicle technology, the increasing importance of vehicle fluids, and opportunities for improving our fluid specification development process. We'll discuss an innovative long-term solution for a new specification system and review how the new system will work. OEMs are designing new and innovative technology faster than ever before. Fluids are a critical component in supporting the evolution of vehicles. Fluid technology must keep up with the vehicle technology or progress will be hindered. Vehicle evolution is driven by consumer demands, government regulations, and advancements in available technology. This places a greater emphasis on vehicle fluids. More is expected and needed in terms of performance, capability, timeliness, and dependability. Unfortunately, the critical importance of fluids is oftentimes overlooked and undervalued, resulting in a disconnect between what is needed and possible with what is available. We believe this disconnect is a result of how our current specification process is structured, and there are opportunities for improvement. As you know, the current industry specification process relies on large industry-wide group consensus, an alternative process in which OEMs define the fluid needs for their vehicles and then set the course for the industry partners to deliver upon will reduce the time and expense invested in reaching an agreement and implementing a new specification. It will also allow more rapid and flexible response to new vehicle technology, and it will encourage individual additive and oil companies to invest in developing innovative fluid technology. The current systems are regional, which fosters duplication and inefficiencies. However, OEMs are becoming increasingly global. A process which focuses on global specifications will benefit everyone. The industry is experiencing a significant loss of fluid expertise with retirements and corporate downsizing. A process which enhances collaboration among a shrinking pool of industry experts makes the best use of the limited resources. OEMs are bringing a new specification system to the industry. With this new system, OEMs will provide clear direction and work in partnership with the industry to enable best practices to be utilized. Having OEMs be the driver of the new fluid specification system simplifies the process and it unifies the industry. It reduces the trend towards multiple individual specifications and the market fragmentation which follows. Reducing market fragmentation provides economies of scale for fluid suppliers and optimizes the supply chain. By engaging individually with fluid technology providers, best solutions are brought forward and innovation is encouraged. Under new fluid specification system, OEMs can time the specification upgrades to support new vehicle technology and to meet marketplace demands such as regulatory requirements or expectations from consumers. Harmonizing to global specifications improves efficiency and quality by reducing regional development and validation costs and ensuring consistent performance worldwide. The new fluid specification system provides a forum for industry participants to work together towards a common goal, optimizing and consolidating the limited resources and expertise. However, to obtain these beneficial outcomes, a connecting piece is needed to bring the elements together as a fully integrated and sustainable fluid specification system. The connecting piece is the International Fluids Consortium, or the IFC. The IFC provides a forum to identify gaps between currently available fluid technology and OEM needs so that fluid specifications continually evolve to align with vehicle requirements. The consortium will then partner with independent third parties to facilitate the development of new technology. Promising technologies will be optimized and supported, and the commercialization of the technology will then be accelerated for the introduction to the marketplace. Next, we'll review the IFC organization and how it's structured. The IFC is a not-for-profit organization. It provides a neutral platform where the industry can collaborate. All IFC funds will remain within the organization and are used for accomplishing the IFC mission. Membership in the IFC is voluntary and open to industry participation. The specifications created by the IFC are voluntary and performance-based, creating a level playing field for industry participants. IFC functions and activities will be prioritized by OEM members. Working groups and technical committees will encourage the industry collaboration. Input on specifications will be solicited from all consortium members. IFC specification development and maintenance activities are funded and sustained through the IFC trademark, licensing, and product certification program. The mission of the consortium is threefold. First, to develop and maintain IFC fluid specifications to optimize vehicle performance. Second, to promote global awareness, availability, and the use of IFC-approved fluids. And third, to manage a sustainable program for certifying acceptable fluids, auditing the fluid quality throughout the supply chain, and easily identifying IFC-approved fluids in the marketplace. The IFC functions are categorized into four main activities: technical and support and collaboration, licensing and certification, legal oversight, and promotion and engagement. The technical arm is the most important, covering functions such as specification development and engine test development, ongoing engine test monitoring and the central parts warehousing and distribution, and development and maintenance of raw material interchange policy for defining acceptable base oil and viscosity grade read across. Encouraging and supporting positive industry involvement and communication is critical to our success. The formation of a technical advisory council will provide the means for all stakeholders to have input. Next, we'll review the areas of interest for the IFC specification portfolio. The IFC structure will support a broad portfolio of fluid specifications. This is intended to accommodate the varied needs of OEMs around the world. For example, OEMs are interested in specifications supporting low and traditional viscosity oils. And the industry as a whole sees a need for electric driveline fluid specifications. OEMs are also interested in low ash oil specifications for compatibility with DPF and GPF technology, and specifications for extended drain oils. And some OEMs are interested in specifications for light-duty diesel oils. Decisions regarding IFC specifications are determined by the OEM members. Depending upon available resources, multiple specifications may be developed simultaneously to close the gap with vehicle needs. The IFC is comprised of 3 types of members. Strategic and standard members are OEMs that support the trademark and contribute engineering expertise, test development hardware, and technical participation. Strategic OEM members guide overall IFC direction. Industry affiliate members are industry partners with a desire to collaborate with OEMs on specification development and have a voice and impact on consortium activities. Through the formation of a technical advisory council, industry affiliate members have a direct voice to the IFC board of directors, providing a structure for open exchange of information. Industry affiliate members also participate in technical committees and working groups, helping to shape the technical progress. They have access to consortium data and information that is not available to non-members. Industry affiliate members have the opportunity to participate in the specification development process and provide comments and input to the IFC board. The IFC provides a structure for the industry to collaborate in a mutually beneficial manner. OEMs benefit by speaking with one unified global voice. Fluid performance increases supporting vehicle innovation and aligning to OEM timing needs. Specifications are harmonized globally, reducing duplication costs and improving fluid quality worldwide. Industry partners benefit because fluid innovation is encouraged and new developments are funded with their technical participation. Limited industry resources are consolidated and focused on OEM needs. Commercialization of better products is accelerated and market fragmentation is decreased. Consumers also benefit. Identifying the right products for their vehicles gets simplified and eliminates the guesswork. The total ownership experience is enhanced with optimized vehicle performance and fluid use. In summary, fluid performance is becoming increasingly important to support vehicle technology. There are opportunities to improve the current fluid specification systems. IFC is a new global OEM-driven consortium providing the structure for the industry to deliver new fluid technologies. IFC has a self-sustaining infrastructure and provides a solution to reduce complexity, improve quality, and unlock innovation. Thank you for your attention. For more information on the International Fluids Consortium, please contact the IFC administrative team. And at this point, we can answer any questions.
Thanks, Terry. I really appreciate you taking the time for this presentation. I have gotten in a couple of questions. And first of all, can you tell us which OEMs have joined the IFC?
I'm going to turn that over to our administrative side. They're the ones that can report directly on that. It is a very impressive list, and it's growing every day. So, Mike, do you want to give an answer to where we are today?
Yeah, hello everyone. This is Mike Kunzelman from the Center for Quality Assurance. And as Terry had mentioned, CQA is administering the program for the IFC. And I should be able to turn on my video so that so all the OEMs that have heard this, and the IFC was presented to ASEA members, to ILSAC members, to the JAMA members. So globally, everyone has seen or heard from what Toyota has been leading. And they all agree with this need of doing something differently and the need for something like the International Fluids Consortium. What we're seeing is some moving faster than others. We have 11 OEMs who have agreed to join the IFC and either have completed the formal membership application or they're processing the paperwork internally. We have 7 Asian OEMs, or 7 OEMs from Asia, 3 European, and 1 in the US. That's what makes up those 11 OEMs. And, you know, we know that it's very critical for ILMA members. You're looking for the market to supply your product, whether it be engine oil or some other kind of fluid that the OEM is calling out. And so we know that there's a significant share of the global passenger car market, which is represented by these OEMs today and others that may join in the future. And so we really feel that the program, even if you just had Toyota, could move forward. But now when you add other OEMs and look at how much fluid is actually being used in the marketplace for service fill, then we know that that's very significant. You'll notice I am not giving you the whole list of names, and we're doing that so that the OEMs actually have a little more time to get consensus among themselves of what's the biggest priority, what should they do first, second, third type of thing. So that's why we're being a little bit nebulous on who the OEMs actually are. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, do you think at some point, when do you think you would be able to announce the names?
That's a good question, because we've been telling the OEMs that we want to do this, but we haven't given them a strict deadline. And part of that is, as I mentioned, there's a couple that are still working through the legal aspects of the membership. And so we want to give them some time before we actually launch and move forward.
Okay, I have a question from one of the attendees. Is it the purpose of the IFC to update specifications more quickly? If so, how quickly is it expected that producers get new specs to market?
I'll take a little answer to that. That is one of the biggest concerns we have as quickly as technology is changing. So we, obviously that will be a discussion, as OEMs find it critical to make those changes to specifications.
Okay.
Hello, this is Rebecca Cox, and I'll just add to that, IFC is currently focusing on an engine oil specification that covers a fuller range of viscosity grades than what is currently available today. And that includes viscosity grades below the 0W16 range. This is a priority because currently there are no global specs that cover both low and traditional viscosity grades. So this is an example of seeing an unmet need, a gap, and quickly being able to find a solution that will be able to benefit the industry and the consumers as well as the OEMs. This will be a high demand, high volume fluid that will service the majority of the current and newly developed combustion engine technologies out there.
How is test development for the IFC specifications going to be funded? Will it be through licensing fees and royalties, or will the OEMs contribute to the test development?
As I had mentioned, the different affiliate members and the structure of the IFC organization, OEMs have a role in their contribution. So obviously, it's a little bit of both, to answer your question.
Okay. What's the timeline for launch? For example, how soon will low viscosity GLV1 oils become available on the shelves in North America?
Well, we right now are working that timeline as we speak. We have a critical team put together, and we have already been given information that there are U.S. OEMs that would like to have the low vis available in the marketplace as soon as next summer. So obviously we have to launch a specification fairly quickly, and that timeline right now is under discussion. So I would say relatively soon we will announce the first specification launch date.
Okay. I got a question from one attendee. How is API not meeting the needs of OEMs?
I don't want to say that it's to blame API, by no means. I believe the system that we've worked with has changed over the years, and it has become a slow process and a very ineffective process to make the changes the OEMs need in a relatively quick basis. So I wouldn't say that API hasn't met the needs. I believe the whole system, the way the whole structure of the GF category has, outlived its life, and the OEMs are, as we mentioned, making quick changes to the vehicles to stay up with technology, and it's just a matter of changing the way the future specifications can be written and designed. I don't know, Mike, Rebecca, if we've talked about this with many OEMs, if you want to add some of the comments.
Well, the other area that we see an opportunity with is that, we really are looking at more of the global picture. And so being able to have some type of a structure that really focuses on a global specification. And that can take into, not just regionally, but that can look at areas like Europe and Asia as well.
Okay.
One of our biggest concerns also, to add to that, Holly, is as far as Toyota is concerned, we want to be able to have one global engine oil that is available in Europe, in Asia, in US, in Brazil, everywhere, instead of pointing to different specifications in the world.
Okay. So will this replace existing QA or standards programs? It's one of the questions from one of the attendees.
This is Mike Kunselman. I'm not sure that it's a replacement for, some of the standards programs and the other types of performance standards that CQA has been involved with in the past. What we've been able to do with the stakeholders is actually pull in the performance standards that make sense on a global basis. And so one that we were, one of the global performance standards that we were very involved with was the top tier diesel fuel program. And in that case, even though the initial target for launching that performance standard was North America, we pulled in 2 CEC tests out of Europe in order to look at diesel fuel injector deposits. And rather than try to use something that had been, done in North America previously, or, had been quite old, we actually had adopted those very quickly because they had been, being developed in Europe. And so I think that's one of the advantages that we haven't seen in the past over the last, 20 years of the current systems that have been in place, is being able to pool, whether it's ASTM, whether it's JASO standard out of Japan, and be able to do that.
Will IFC specifications be backwards compatible with previous specifications? That's one of our attendees' questions.
That's a good question. And that's it's under discussion. We're not making major changes all at once. We're taking the steps needed and consolidating specifications and eliminating some of the duplication in many of the specifications that really aren't needed. So I guess the way we can answer that is some of them will be backward compatible with the technology changing and with us beginning to develop new engine tests. Obviously, the new engines that are going to be using aren't going to be backward compatible to such older engines, but continuing forward with the same, engine tests for some of the specification obviously will be backward compatible.
Okay. Will IFC be developing tests that are considered standards via something like CEC or ASTM?
Absolutely.
Okay. One question about the advisory committee that the other non-OEMs can participate in. Is there a limit to the number of participants on that advisory committee? Is that capped in any way? Is there a cost involved? Terry?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was on mute. Somehow I hit the mute button. There's not a cap for affiliate members. We've had a lot of inquiries from many non-OEM companies that want to participate and that want to just stay involved in be informed on the direction certain areas are taking. So there is a small fee to participate at that level, but there's not a cap to how many members.
Okay.
We really want this consortium to be a voluntary and including multiple different because the fluid development obviously is going to go further than just the engine oil.
Okay. Got a lot of questions coming in, so just bear with me while I kind of sort through them. One I have is 0W8 and 0W12 oils were not asked for in GF6. Has adoption been ruled out for these low viscosity oils?
I'm sorry, say that again. The first part of it you cut out.
Okay, sorry. 0W8 and 0W12 oils were not asked for in GF6. Has adoption been ruled out for these low viscosity oils?
They weren't asked for because they weren't, number one, available, and number two, we didn't have the test developed at that time to be able to certify. So we decided that since we do need a specification and the GLV1 fuel economy test that was developed through the JAMA members, we felt that this was a good opportunity to kick off the IFC and be able to start organizing the whole new development of specification building, with this being the first initial spec.
Okay.
More comments from our administrative?
I think this is Mike Kunselman again. At the time that GF6 was started, the SAE had not even defined the viscosity specs for 8 and 12. And so, you know, those were definitely, you know, something that was, you know, probably not there at the time. And, you know, but that's one of the advantages of, you know, being more nimble, is taking into account, you know, situations like that, issues that come up with the industry, or proactively looking at how to reduce issues for vehicle owners by being able to do some of that.
Okay. Another question about test development. What happens to existing tests developed by API and ASEA if these two organizations are supplanted by IFC and will not be around for specification development?
Many of the members of both of those organizations have expressed interest in continuing with their development through the IFC. So as engine tests phase out due to lack of equipment, new engine tests are going to be developed through the IFC, and all participation is welcomed. And so
okay.
all I can say is most of the OEMs have expressed interest in moving, you know, the test development further through the IFC.
I have another question. Is the intention of this global spec that this global spec replace individual approvals from your member OEMs?
I'm not sure what the question is there.
Is the intention of this global spec to replace individual approvals from your member OEMs? I guess instead of having the members, I don't know exactly what is being.
I can jump in, Holly, on this one. It really depends on the OEM. And I think many of your ILMA members realize, right, that you take something like an ASEA specification and it sets sort of the baseline. And then the OEMs have actually built on that specification. Well, if a new specification or performance standard comes out that actually covers more of what the OEM wants in their fluid specification, then there's going to be less chance of the OEM actually developing their own individual specification that kind of supplements or adds on to, you know, one of the current regional specifications. I think also just taking, you know, I don't think that the intent of IFC is to replace some of these organizations. These organizations do a lot more than performance standards or specification setting. And, you know, I think we get kind of caught up that they're just setting the specifications. You know, even if we look at the, you know, the heavy duty market, right? The heavy duty market, the specifications can be set by the OEMs through some of their current OEM organizations. And so I don't think that there's, you know, just saying that IFC and what IFC is doing is going to replace some of these may not be totally factual, at least in my opinion.
Okay. You mentioned in your presentation that there will be quality auditing throughout the supply chain. Could you please elaborate?
Well, I'm going to let CQA talk about that, but exactly as it's stated, we're going to make sure that there is reliable quality engine oil out there, and bad oil doesn't get into our vehicles.
Okay.
Rebecca, do you want to add to that? I'm wondering if she's on mute, because that really has been the expertise of CQA.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. So as far as the quality auditing portion of the IFC program goes, it'll be much like some of the other certification programs that CQA runs and other programs run, where licensees will submit qualification samples up front to demonstrate their capability of meeting the specification. And they'll submit annual production samples to demonstrate continued adherence to the specifications. And CQA will also do field auditing and testing just to make sure that no bad actors are out there that, you know, could be hurting the genuinely qualified and certified oils, the good oils that are out there.
Okay. Let's see, still getting a lot of questions in, so bear with me. How will BOI and BGRA be supported as part of the IFC specification development process? If so, how will the required testing matrices be funded? I think we got a question on the funding of testing previously, but go ahead.
That is still being considered. We don't have all the answers to that right now.
Right.
Obviously, when the technical committees get formed, then we're going to look for the best ways to actually make that happen. There's a lot to be improved with it, but we want involvement from our industry partners.
What do you think the timing is on the kickoff of these committees and so on?
As I mentioned, there's been a functional core team right now that's meeting weekly, and that timeline right now is being established. It's our hopes that within the next couple months, we're able to announce the kickoff of obviously the kickoff of that, the whole team, and then from there, just start the teams forming.
Okay. How are you going to publish the new specifications or the changes that arise for non-members?
So the publication method for new specifications will be, we will announce the fully developed and approved specification. We'll do a formal launch and a formal announcement to the industry as a whole. Obviously, members, because they've been involved in the process and will have received the information in advance and will have had a chance to provide input and contribution, will already be aware of the specifications. Non-members then will see it when it gets published publicly.
Okay. From a marketing standpoint, will there be a special IFC logo to put on labels and marketing materials?
Yes, there will. It'll be much like the current specification programs, licensing programs. IFC will have trademarks that will be used and put on marketing materials and labels to certify that this is genuine IFC certified oil.
And I guess to that end, do you have a consumer outreach program planned, or do you anticipate some confusion from consumers with the, as it is, they are a bit confused about engine oils, period. So how do you plan to address that?
That is a really important question. The whole reason that this is being done is to try to help consolidate and, decrease fragmentation and help decrease confusion for the consumers. So if you remember back from the slides, one of the IFC functions is promotion and engagement. And there will be a very strong effort put towards not just engaging with the industry, but also promoting and engaging with the consumers so they understand these IFC certified oils.
Okay. See, we got, what else? I answered that one, or we got the answer to that one. ILMA has a quality testing program for its members' engine oils. How could we sample and test members' products under the IFC regime?
I think that's a really good question. And maybe that's something that we can talk about, how we can make sure that we're supporting the mission of both organizations. I think, ILMA does a really incredible, has an incredible program in that area, and it would be great if we could see that continue.
Okay, here's one that I got earlier. Are there lubricant manufacturing partners in the program so far? And if so, who are they?
Well, we're focusing a lot on OEMs right now. That's been our primary.
Got it. Well, you have been troopers. We really appreciate you participating today and taking the time to answer all these questions. I'm sure we will be getting additional ones, and we'd like to reach out to you and maybe publish a Q&A for our members in the form of one of our newsletters, so that we capture all of the concerns and all of the questions that they have. So if you have any further questions, please feel free to shoot ilma@ilma.org or info@ilma.org an email, and we will try to get those questions answered. I appreciate everyone joining us today. I'm sorry, I just got corrected. It's ilma@ilma.org is our Q&A email address. And again, I want to thank Chevron Oronite for their sponsorship of the ILMA Town Hall Series for 2021. Thank you for your support over the last year or so. And I want to thank Terry, Mike, and Rebecca for joining us today for LubeTrends. We really appreciate all the information. And for everyone else, look forward to seeing you in person soon, hopefully at one of our meetings coming up. Thank you.